Hey everyone, welcome back to Embrace and Evolve with Cassie. Thank you for joining me for another episode of season 2. Yay, me. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for subscribing. I appreciate it. Well, this season we are talking about the real stuff, the hard stuff, which is grief, depression, stress, anxiety, the things we often deal with silently. And a lot of people deal with being silent. Some people suffer in silence, which they don't show that they're going through. They just suffer in silence. So today's episode is called Silent Battles: What Depression Looks Like Behind the Smile. We smile all the time and we dealing with so much. In the last episodes, not last episodes, last season, we discussed the stages of grief. And grief is not only a loss of a loved one, it can be heartbreak up, divorce, miscarriages, a loss of job, finance. So grief can be a lot of things. So, what does it look like behind the smile? And this one is real personal because sometimes the loudest smile is hiding the quietest pain, dealing with a lot, being quiet about it, not saying anything. So, the person who's always showing up, always encouraging others, always doing fine. They may be the one fighting the biggest battle internally. We never know. You never know what a person might deal with. So let's unpack what high functioning depression really looks like. Working in behavioral health, we speak about high functioning. High functioning depression, sometimes called smiling depression, is when you're struggling deeply, but you still get up, you go to work, take care of the kids, go to church, post those selfies, calling everybody, you know, the whole thing. So to everyone else, you look okay, but inside you may feel overwhelmed, exhausted, numb, or even hopeless. You may laugh with friends, then cry alone in a car. Those car drives, sometimes you start thinking of things and tears just fall from your face, and you just wondering like, why am I crying? Or something hit you, something you remember, or there's you just lost your job and you got a bill, and you wondering like what I'm going to do the next day, how I'm going to feed the children. So you never know those days you driving in the car, and sometimes you just overwhelmed and it's just you begin to cry. You may be the one others depend on. A lot of people depend on you, even whether it's finance, whether to encourage someone, you being the person that's always there, but sometimes you have to set boundaries for yourself. Um, a lot of people depend on you, while silently wishing someone would ask if you're really okay. Sometimes we go on without the day and somebody called you and they just going through a lot, and then they start putting their issues, their situation on you, but never ask you like, are you okay? How are you doing? They just go on and telling them about telling you about what's going on with them, but the person never asks you like, are you okay? You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing: just because someone is functioning doesn't mean they're fine. It doesn't mean they're okay. So why do we hide it. We, well, why do we smile through pain and pretend we're good, which we are not, because we are afraid of being judged, afraid of being seen as weak, afraid of being a burden. But it's just life. Some of us grew up hearing, keep it together. A lot of times, you so strong, be strong. You don't talk about your problems. We learn to suppress instead of speaking up. We just keep quiet. Some of us are leaders. Some of us are parents. Some of us are helpers. We feel like we can't afford to fall apart because a lot of people depend on us. But here's what I want you to say. But here's what I want to say to you. Strength doesn't mean silence. You're not weak for feeling you're human. High functioning depression is tricky because it wears a mask. A lot of people wear a mask because of depression. Here's how it often shows up: overworking or staying constantly busy to avoid your feelings, perfectionism, feeling like nothing you do is enough, just like with me with the podcast. I feel like I can do more, say more, or trying to make everything perfect. But I notice, like with me, the only thing that I have to do is just be myself, right? Sometimes emotional disconnect, feeling numb even around people you love, laughing, joking, and being the life of the party, but breaking down behind closed doors. High functioning depression. It's not always sadness. Sometimes it's tiredness, zoning out, or feeling like you're just going through the motions, don't know why your emotions going everywhere, can't barely sleep, not getting enough rest. When we push it all down, it keep going and it starts to take a toll, physically, mentally, and spiritually. You might feel drained all the time, struggle to sleep, or you lose interest in things you used to enjoy. You might even start wondering if life even matters. Do anybody care about me? Not only life, but do anybody care about my feelings and how I feel? Because I'm always there. The scariest part is people may never know what you're going through until it's too late. That's why we have to talk about it. That's why we have to check on our strong friends, because sometimes our strong friends go through a lot. And that's why we need to check in with ourselves, check in to with family members, check in with friends. You never know what a person might go through just because, oh, I haven't heard from such and such. I haven't heard from him or her. Pick up the phone. Try calling to see what is going on with their person. A lot of time people be waiting on individuals to call. Well, they don't call me. Well, if you're thinking about a person, listen, if a person comes across your mind, call them. Sometimes a lot of people don't even think about other people. They're thinking about other things. But that's the quickest way. People always say, well, they don't call me. I haven't heard from 'em. I don't know what's going on. Pick up the phone and call. You never know what a person is going through. So many people going through depression, so many people going through grief. And we can't be selfish and thinking like, well, they don't call me. All you have to do just let me see what my friend is doing. Let me see what my family is doing. But if you suspect someone might be fighting silent battles, don't just say, let me know if you need anything. That word if, let me know if you need anything. So why don't we change it? Change it. Instead and say, well, if you need anything, just give me a call. What you need? You need me to come by? Do you need anything? Let's go let's go this place. You want me to do this for you? I can do it for you. So change that if to something that you can do, or you know that you're going to be there for that person. And here's another one. Ask them, how's your heart? What's been feeling heavy lately? Do you have a space to talk today? Be safe. Be a safe place. Let them talk without trying to fix it. Sometimes just being present is the most powerful thing you can do. Your presence alone is so powerful. It's so awesome. You never know what you mean to a person. Maybe a hug or an encouraging word is so powerful during a time of depression, during a time of stress, during a time of being overwhelmed. You never know. Words mean so much, and your presence can, oh my God, it can do so much to a person. And to you, yes, you. If you've been smiling to survive, I want you to know you are not alone. Yes, God loves you. God is always there. You have a great support team, but just remember, you're not alone. Others are going through it as well, but you're not alone. You don't have to carry this by yourself. It's okay to say, I'm not okay. It's okay to ask for help. You are worthy of support. You're worthy of rest, and you're worthy of healing, even if you don't feel like it right now. Let this be your permission to take the mask off. Sometimes you have to take the mask off and let someone know that you're not okay. Today's what I want you to do is get a journal, and I need you to ask yourself, what do I wish someone knew about me right now? Take it and write everything of what you're feeling right now. Maybe you can start that book, start writing. It may be your testimony to help others, but ask the question, get a journal, buy a journal. What do I wish someone knew about me right now? And today's affirmation, even behind my smile, I am worthy of healing, I am worthy of hope, and I'm worthy of help. Repeat that to yourself today out loud if you can. Repeat it daily. Get a sticky note, put it on your computer, put it on your mirror, and just speak those affirmations. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, not just with your ears, but with your heart. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone. You never know who's silently struggling. You never know. Share this podcast, share this episode to help someone. And don't forget, you can reach out to me at any time at embraceandevolve25@gmail.com. You can also grab my grief journal, My Heart Forgot to Tell You, or you can get my grief workbook, which is the healing pages, navigating your grief journey at cassified.shop. That's cassified.shop, SHOP. So next week, episode 3, we will talk about the weight of stress when life feels too heavy. We're going to talk about the chronic stress. So many of us carry the kind that wears down your body, wear down your mind, and it also can steal your peace. So we'll talk about how to recognize it, how it impacts you, and most importantly, how to begin the healing process. So make sure you subscribe, and guess what? Come back next week for another honest, heart-led conversation. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You are not alone, and you are evolving one breath at a time. See you next week.